Hi, this is Janet from Try It Like It Create It, and today I am going to be casting a mold of some buttons. I have an old box of buttons from either my mom or my great aunt. I'm not sure which. I remember exactly, but what I'm doing here is just taking some double-sided tape and sticking it in the bottom of my cup for molding, and then I'm sticking my button down to that because it has a shank on it, and I want it to stand up straight in my mold. So hopefully that will help. And I've got 3 of them here, a little bit off camera. And the product that I'm using today is this, I guess it's called Oomoo. I saw somebody else using it on YouTube the other day, and I thought, oh wow, I've got to try that. It says that you definitely want protection, so I'm gonna just glove up here, and then I am wearing glasses to protect my eyes, and it says you want equal parts, so I'm using these disposable paper cups, and I've marked on here a little line as a guide to tell me how far I want to go. Now it says to stir well before using, and this was a brand new container, so I turned it upside down, and then I took the lid off, the plastic seal, or I guess the metal seal, off camera. But just to show you, I need a paper towel here to clean up. There we go. All right, I'm gonna clean up my jar as I go. And so that yellow jar is a lot thicker, I believe, than this blue version, but we're gonna shoot for equal parts here. And I think I am just about there. Okay. And let me take a second to clean this one off too. All right. And then I'm going to put the two together. I'll just add the blue to the pink here. And with the popsicle stick, I'm going to make sure I get as much out of the paper cup I can, just by scraping, but I really don't want to break through the paper, which can happen. And I also don't want little pieces of the popsicle stick in my mix, which I've had happen when I've worked with resin before. This is not resin, this is a mold. But still. Okay, so I'm going to mix it together, and the color will change from kind of, color theory. You mix the pink with the blue, you're going to get a purple. So I'm going to take a few seconds here to mix. All right, I think I have mixed well enough. I've made sure I've scraped down the sides, and I made sure I got all the way to the bottom. And just to tell you that when I put the two together, I know the pink was thicker, but I can feel the two getting thicker together. So I'm just gonna pour this on top, or maybe to the side, I guess, of my button until I cover that up. I don't know if I'm going to get all 3 of them made out of this mixture, but we'll give it a go and see. Okay, so that is the first one, and I think I have enough for one more. So I kind of have to decide which ones I'm going to make. Let's go for the flower. Just make sure it's in there straight. And I'm going to pour off to the side just so it doesn't kind of move the flower too much. All right, and now I'm going to scrape this down. Kind of so focused on what I'm doing, I can't tell if I'm in screen or not, but here we are. All right, so I think that was a pretty good mix and gave me enough for two. So I might just off camera mix up another batch to cover my last one, or just wait and see how these go. Yeah, I think I'll just wait till tomorrow and see how these two work out, since this is my first go. I'm going to dispose of all of this mixing cups and so forth. So there are my two that I've covered, and here's one that I didn't do, but I will set it aside to do it later. And then I'm going to dispose of these, and then I will be back tomorrow to show you how to unmold it. So here is a cast that I have made for a mold, and I am just going to open it up with you. And what I have put in here are 3 rubber stamps. So I am making molds with rubber stamps. So there is what the mold looked like, and here are the rubber stamps, and I'll pull off the rest of the mold material, but just to show you, there they are. And so I will cast this and show you what it looks like in just a few moments. All right, so what I have here is I have some of my Miracle Coup, I guess is how you say it, UV resin that I've put in this little container, and I'm going to use some soap dye, and I will link to these in my post, but I received everything from Amazon, so I'm just going to take a very little bit of that color, see if I can clear off some of this, and mix it in. Now I don't want my resin to be too opaque, else lighting it with the lamp will not work because the light won't pass through the resin. So I'm going to give this a good mix, and we'll see how it goes and if it works. And what I mean by that is if the light passes through the resin enough to harden. So I am just going to add this to my mold. Now here I got too close to the edge, and so I super glued a little piece on the side there to see if it'll work. I don't have high expectations for it, but we'll give it a go. Alright, so I'm going to set this resin aside from my lamp and get everything set up here to expose it. Alright. Okay. I don't know if that mold's going to work, but anyway, they feel a little juicy on top, so I'm going to expose them again and see how this goes. So, there they are. A little warm to the touch. This one seems to have an air bubble in it. I don't know. The mold itself looks okay. I know this one isn't going to hold up because I can't get that to stick to the side. Well, so I may have to remake that one. But to share with you, I had made some molds of buttons. And when I did this, this was my UV piece, and it never really got through because the cavity was so thick. The UV light didn't get through, so I ended up having to heat this one, or expose it to the light on the front surface, and so it kind of worked, but you can see that the cast was really way too deep to work. And then I had one that I did of this kind of flowered shape, and I don't see the mold right here in front of me, but anyway, it worked better than this one. And then I also cast this one. I'm looking for the piece here. Oh shoot, I don't see it. I cast this one in the AB resin where it has to sit overnight, and that was hard to get out of the mold, but I don't see the piece, so I can't share that with you. But overall, I like how these molds are working, and I'm going to go ahead and make a couple more of these, sand them down, and either turn them into decorative pieces for artwork or into earrings. So like this one where it has a little cavity in there, I could see putting a gem or a different colored resin in there. So I am just going to make a few more of these, and you can see how they look like compared, maybe you can see what they look like compared to the original stamp. So there you go.